We're talking about money today, and it's my favorite topic. I'm Cara Gazy. I'm a certified coach here with the Life Coach School. I want to talk a little bit about debt. Where do we classify debt in the model? Debt is a circumstance, it's neutral, it's simply money owed to someone. And we have a lot of thoughts about debt. Many of us have been taught debt is bad, we shouldn't go into debt. One thought that I hear most often from people I coach is I'm not good with money because I have debt. And I want you to question it all. What do you think about your debt? And when you think that thought, tell me how you feel. When you think I'm fine with debt, you probably have a sense of peace and you don't think about it, right? You go on with your life. When we think we want it gone, you feel panic. And when you feel panic, look at what actions you take around your debt from a place of panic. I want you to get some awareness around that and what you're creating with that, because it's possible to think it's fine and I'm working on paying it down. One question I like to ask myself is, would I make this purchase again? There's some things I said no. And what I do is I classify those as educational expenses. They mean nothing about me. I learned from that purchase. So you don't have to judge yourself and judge yourself about how you are with money just because you made a purchase that you no longer would make today. It's just education. I love to think about it that way. My brain tells me it's impossible for me to reach my goals and that I don't know how to do it. In your circumstance line, I want you to write your goal, whatever that is. Let's pretend that's making $100,000. And you think it's impossible. And the reason why you think it's impossible is because you're telling yourself you don't know how to do it. I want to tell you, and this applies to everyone, you never know how you're going to do something until you do it, especially things that we think are impossible. We can settle in with that thought, I don't know how to do it. Okay, that's fine. So what? What's next if you don't know how to do it, right? Are you going to get to work, or are you going to stay there stagnant thinking, I don't know how to do it, so I shouldn't do anything? Saying we don't know how to do it keeps us stuck and keeps us safe because we don't get to risk anything. We don't get to risk rejection or humiliation, whatever we're fearing and avoiding by saying we don't know how. I don't know how keeps us safe. How do I get to believe in that money is not part of a pie? I'm struggling with that thought. Yes, just in your life, there's an unlimited amount of money that you can make. And there is an unlimited amount of money that I can make. That's a thought, right? But that's a very useful thought. Like I said, I'm a CPA too, and there's a CPA on every corner. And I still made a lot of money as a CPA. I made as much money as I wanted to make. And I wasn't thinking that I'm going to take away from another CPA just because I sign a client, right? That is that scarcity mentality that just that thought will have you comparing yourself and thinking about how you can be better than someone rather than how you can serve your clients. I'm struggling to negotiate my job for more money. I am paid less than my colleagues who work less than me. How do I go about it? Right now, you're comparing yourself to your colleagues. I want you to think about your value that you bring to your job, regardless of what your colleagues make. What do you think you should be paid based on the value you bring to your job? One way I like to think about it's what problems am I solving for my employer? And the bigger problems that I can take off my bosses or whoever your managers list, right? That's valuable. Instead of comparing yourself, what value am I bringing and what do I want to be paid for that value? Once you clean that up, approach that conversation with your manager or your boss from that perspective, because we're paid for the value we create. I have more money than I spend. Even with millions in investments, I still feel like I don't have enough. This shows you can have $10,000 in investments or millions of investments. And the thought, I don't have enough, it doesn't matter how much you have, right? I want you to answer this question. How much would be enough? Is it $1 billion? Probably not. You just get to decide that it's enough and why it's enough. That's what I want you to explore. Why is $1 million enough for me? Or why isn't it enough? And then look at those reasons and just decide that it's enough. because thinking it's not enough is a scarcity thought, right? And so you end up working more, trying to create more money and probably creating more money, but to put into this bank that's never enough. Just look at why you think it's not enough and make sure you like your reasons, because the more money you make with that mentality of it's not gonna be enough, I don't have enough, you won't ever earn or save enough for your brain to think, oh, I have enough.